They say seeing is believing. I actually question that. Is it really true that seeing is believing? So many relationships fall apart because of what you see, you know. And oftentimes people will say, if God's there, why can't we see them? So we do make seeing the basis of believing. But today I want to question, is seeing truly believing? And can you truly see everything? I'll give you an example. As growing up, I had a friend, and I was kind of very cautious and, straight kind of a student, but my friends like very naughty. And so where I would see, oh, the doors are closed, we need to sleep, or, you know, something's happening and now we need to kind of like focus, she would always see an opportunity for mischief. So, I'd see a closed door, means time to sleep. She might see the closed door and think, let's have some fun now. So, based on what we're like, we actually see things differently. And based on where we are at, we see things differently. Like you see a phone and you think you can scroll on the internet. A child sees a phone, a baby, and they think they can eat it. So, based on where you're at, you see the world differently. And if you want to change how you, and it's true, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's true that there's many people in this world who are struggling today, who are depressed with the way the world is. There's so many in the younger generation, they're like seeing no hope for the future. You get up in the morning and there's a war at one end, there is economy collapsing at another end, someone died by some freak accident at another end, and all this news is coming to you at the same time. And it just, in 10 minutes you've got all this news, and or your ex is going out with somebody else or something like that, so you get all of that in 10 minutes and you feel depressed, and you see no opportunities in the world around you. So it's depressing. And that's why I'm picking on this topic. Is seeing believing really or not? And how, when we are in a bind like this, when everything, all doors seem to be shut, they look that they're all shut, how do we get out of that? And in order to see new opportunities, you need to change where we're at. Unless we change where we're at, we can't see new opportunities. And in order to change where you're at, you need to change what you hear. Without changing what you hear, you can't change where you're at. Maybe you have an example in your own life where you thought there was no way, but a friend gave you an idea and it was like, oh, I didn't think of that. Right? So when you hear something different, your way changes. And which is why the yoga texts explain that when you associate with the saintly people, when you hear from them, associate doesn't just mean you hang out and like chit chat, but when you hear from them, and even better, when you serve them, it starts to build an idea in your head that, oh, there is another alternative reality possible. So if you want to change what you see, we need to change what we hear. And what you hear depends on who you hang out with. You can almost predict the life of a person based on the 4 or 5 people they associate with, because you know where they're going. It's not about how much plans and strategies you make, it's about what you hear. So the yoga text will recommend hearing and associating with saintly people because they have the ability in them. There's a unique ability to see the potential in you that nobody else can see. There's actually 5 levels of vision. There's multiple levels of vision, but like one level of vision is that you only see problems everywhere. You only see negativity. You only see fault everywhere. There is a kind of person, this story I had heard about a dog who goes to the market, goes to the grocery store, gets a bag of milk, pays the bill, gets onto the bus, carries the groceries back home, and rings the bell at his home. The master sees him and beats him up. And then all lookers ask, well, what happened? Why are you beating him? This is such an amazing dog. He's like, well, he didn't get the full change. He got $10, not $11 back. They only see, this is a kind of vision. You only see problems. Even when there's so much good, you can't see the good. You only see the problem. And then the other kind of vision is you see problems when there is an actual problem. Like in the previous case, there was actually so much good. But say there's all bad and then you see bad, that's one kind of vision. And then another kind of vision is when there's a lot of bad, you're able to see some good. A little bit, you can see good. Even in a difficult situation, you can see, oh, there's God's grace here, there's gratitude, something in the heart. And the saintly vision is that there is all bad and you see only good. So Others may judge you by who you are and what you do, but the saintly people, they see you for the potential that you hold. And when you hear from them, they awaken your original potential by giving you the process of awakening it. They're not competing with you, they're giving you the knowledge. And by rendering service, pranipatena and pariprashnena, and inquiring, by actually rendering humble service and by inquiring about how to serve, that combination, it's kind of like a circular thing. I'll inquire about how to serve, then I have more questions about how to serve, and you go on like that. In this way, your vision slowly changes. You also begin to come to the point where you see some good in the world. And then we may not be at the point where we only see good, but at least we can come to the point that when there's all bad going around us, we can at least see some good, at least some positivity can be there. And remember, it's really important at this point because what you meditate on. So say if you see only problems in this world or in a person, like you're in a relationship and you only see the problems in this person, they leave their socks here, they don't talk to you nicely, and that. There's two things to remember for that. One, you see it because you have it. This is a hard pill to swallow, but the yogis will say when you point a finger, there's three pointing back. There's that. And two, what you meditate on, that you inquire. If you don't have it, but if you're like dwelling on the fact that this person's like this, you will develop those exact same qualities. That's why, there's oftentimes you'll see like people don't like certain quality in a person and they become like that person. It's a fact. It's actually a fact. So in conclusion, we, back question, in conclusion, questioning the whole idea that seeing is believing, wait for a few minutes before you judge the person you're with. Wait for a few minutes before you snap the relationship you're in. Wait for a few minutes before you take a drastic decision, and really question the quality of your hearing. Don't just blindly believe the quality of your seeing. Don't have too much trust in what you see and judge. We can always improve our judging and seeing abilities. So maybe what I'm saying about, hey, seeing is not believing, and you might be like agitated by that, hey, I saw him do this or I saw her do this, and it seems like very like step one, step two, step three happened. But maybe you can entertain this idea, and it's just requires some humility, but maybe you can entertain this idea that it's possible that what you're seeing is not the only reality, that there could be a reality outside of it. Someone else seeing these same steps could come to a different conclusion based on what their experiences and their knowledge is. And if you can't even entertain that idea, that there's any possibility of any other reality, then you should know that you're in a position of like pride or arrogance or some sort of a self made up idea of like righteousness. And some situations just challenge your idea of righteousness. It requires humility to see that there may be another vision, and hence we approach a spiritual teaching.